is a story at globalnews.ca by Jacqueline Carbone, entitled Near-Death Experience. London man shares what it's like to die and then come back. And Ms. Carbone begins. Adam Tapp was 35 years old when he died. A paramedic in London for 15 years. Tapp was doing some woodwork in his shop in 2018 when, as he says, he got a little cavalier with a wood etching device. The device arced into his hand and he was electrocuted. His heart stopped for 11.5 minutes. Quote, "It was like someone flipped a switch. All my senses were overwhelmed by 12,000 volts of DC electricity. It was one of the most excruciatingly painful things I've ever experienced. I remember forcing thoughts like, I think I'm being electrocuted." Yeah, that's that wood burning device you see on YouTube. Don't do that stuff where you take the transformer out of a microwave and use it to burn wood, because if you connect those two terminals, you are toast. And they don't tell you that on YouTube enough. Very dangerous activity, extremely dangerous activity, where if you make one mistake, it's over. Don't do wood burning with microwave transformers. Luckily, Tapp had a friend with him who had recently taken a high-voltage safety course. Mark Wilson disconnected Tapp. Oh, wow, you had to kick it off of him, and called for Tapp's wife, Stephanie. Stephanie was a cardiac registered nurse, and she immediately started CPR. They also called 911. The ambulance showed up, and two of his fellow paramedics drilled a hole into his shoulder bone for drug access. Why that was necessary needs a little more explanation. They gave him epinephrine and defibrillated him twice before bringing him back to the land of the living. McLeod 2023, thank you for the super chat, who agrees that magnetrons are deadly. Don't even take apart a microwave oven. Tapp did not wake up for 6 hours, and when he did, he was in the ICU, intubated, which he says is a strange way to wake up. You know it, thank you for the super chat. You know it says, what Bill says muted. Makes more sense than anything I've ever said, ever. I am so humbled that you think that of me. You know it. Thank you so much. Tapp is one of the 158 individuals who participated in a study between Western University and the University of Liège that used text mining and artificial intelligence to find that most people respond positively to near-death experiences. While the sample size was small, researchers feel that the text mining approach will only increase in validity as more narratives are collected from the survivors of NDEs. Participants were asked to write freely about their NDE, and those narratives were analyzed by researchers at Western University, says Dr. Andrea Sodou, an associate professor in Western's Department of Physics and Astronomy. Sodou said, "The idea was to try to extract information from the text in a very quantitative way, without any bias, using the text mining technique. Traditionally, NDEs are explored using standardized questionnaires, like the Grayson scale, which asks participants a series of questions, answered using multiple choice. The problem, Sodou said, is it is a potentially biased approach that may skew recollections. Using text mining, she says, we extracted words that were more on the positive side, like light and wellness, and saw that words like fear, while still part of the narrative, were much less dominant than the positive outcomes. After being dead for more than 11 minutes, Tapp was resuscitated and fell into a coma for 6 hours. But while he was essentially dead to the world, he said he had a profound experience. All of a sudden, I just woke up in a place, said Tapp, that I had seemingly always been in. It was black and it kind of seemed like space. Tapp then said he felt a frequency wash over him and saw what looked like gasoline on water, containing geometric shapes and patterns, adding that something was communicating with him through thoughts and feelings and emotions. Quote, I just started fading into the fabric of the universe. It was so warm and peaceful and pleasant. It appears simple curiosity and a desire to better understand near-death experiences were the driving forces behind the study. According to Sodhu, both he and his colleagues at the University of Liège are very much interested in consciousness and altered states of consciousness. Tapp eventually woke up from the coma. He asked how long he'd been out, and said if he was told it had been 30 years, he would have believed it. His sense of time was confused. But what was more surprising is that he did not feel quite at home in his body. He said, it actually took me a while to feel comfortable in my body again. Just breathing. I was so hyper-aware of having to take a breath, he said. It took me a couple of months. I just felt so foreign in my body. The experience was indescribable, said Tapp, adding that it took him a while to be able to put it into words. And the last words are from Mr. Tapp. What I take away from it is this: an absolute unequivocal feeling that death is supposed to happen. Yeah, that's the price of life, right? I don't mean to be making, I don't mean to be being critical here of people who have changed their lives for the better. So, God forgive me. He continues, it might not be pleasant and we might not want it, but it's supposed to happen. And it's very literally a necessary part of all life. As fearful as these moments are for people, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually deeply beautiful.